Seth Lugo, no longer a Padre officially. Obviously, he was a free agent. He now signs with the Kansas City Royals. 3 years, $45 million, $15 million a year. Congrats to Seth. I mean, he was coming out of the New York Mets bullpen. I'm not saying that's a bad job to have, but he got more money from the Padres this past year to prove he was a starter. The Padres gave him that opportunity. And if it didn't work out, like he had additional years on that contract, a player option, but he pitched well. I know he was on the IL a little bit, but he made a good amount of starts, pitched deep into games for the most part, including, I think, his last start of the year in San Francisco, where he was a great teammate to Josh Hader. Josh Hader didn't want to pitch in certain situations, so Seth Lugo made sure that Josh Hader only had to give pretty minimal effort for, I think, 1 out in one of those games there in San Francisco. I'm going to remember that for a while. But yeah, I mean, Seth, and now he, after a good year with the Padres, he goes and gets $45 million guaranteed. I know it's the Royals. It's not like it's a real contending team right now, but who knows? You know, next year with the Royals, they could be in contention, or they could surprise people this season. We'll see. But he has a player option in that 3rd year, so that 3rd year is still guaranteed because it's a player option. It's not like it's the club option. But where does, the Padres here, where does that take the Padres? I mean, it's just one more guy that's off the list. I mean, Nick Martinez goes to the Cincinnati Reds, Lugo here to the Royals. Waka is still available, but the Padres didn't want to give him the club option that they had, or the 2 years, the club options, I believe. That was like $16 million a year because of the shoulder concerns that they had, right, with him, the injury history. They didn't want to do that, and I understood that. But now where are they going to go? Because there's guys that are coming off the board now. Where are you going to go starting pitching-wise? Is it going to be a trade? Because there are guys that are, available for 1 year before they hit free agency, and those are big names. But do the Padres want to give up the prospects, the players necessary? Do they even have the players necessary to give to these teams, like the Rays for Tyler Glasnow, the Guardians for Shane Bieber? Emmanuel Clase, I think, has been mentioned a little bit around Major League Baseball, but don't know if he would be dealt. He's a reliever, not a starter, but that's just another name on the Cleveland Guardians. Someone like a Corbin Burns with the Milwaukee Brewers. Dylan Cease, 2 years in control with the rebuilding Chicago White Sox. Do they have what those teams want, or are they willing to give that up? And if they're not, then they have to go to the free agent market. And right now, who's out there? Who's out there that the Padres are willing to give $15 million a year to, like Lugo just got from the Royals? I don't see really anyone that's out there that the Padres are willing to give that much money to, because if you go look, the money that they have right now, right, and the money that they save a bunch of money from the Soto Grisham deal with the Yankees. They got back Michael King, and Drew Thorpe might help in 2024, but they don't have enough, obviously, in this rotation. So I hope that Preller can go get a couple more arms here. But if you look right now, I was looking on COTS contracts, and which is a little bit different from Spot Track. Spot Track, or excuse me, not Spot Track. If you look at Fangraphs, they'll tell you the projected 2024 payroll for the Padres, but the luxury tax obviously is a big thing, the CBT. Where are the Padres there? And I think they have less room there, money-wise, to get to the CBT, which is like 237, I think, the first threshold. They have less money to spend, less room, than if you go on Fangraphs and you look at the 2024 number, how much money you think that they would have. So let's say it was Lugo, right? And they gave him 3 years, 45. That's $15 million a year. And let's say the Padres, let's just go with the Fangraphs number, because I don't remember off the top of my head the COTS contract number that I saw. But let's say they have, a little over $40 million to spend to get to the $200 million number. That's $15 million to one starting pitcher, when you probably want a couple, and then relief help, a couple outfielders that you don't have right now, hopefully another bat that could play first, DH, right? I don't think the Padres want to spend $15 million a year on a starting pitcher right now, unless it's someone like Corbin Burns. I don't know what his contract is off the top of my head. I know it's 1 year, but how much? Unless it's someone like that. And even then, they might ask for another team to eat some of the salary. So, yeah, I feel like this Padres team is going to go more the Jack Flaherty route, where it's not going to be $15 million a year, and it's not going to be 3-4 years. More like 1, 2. Preller likes giving the options, so probably 1 year with an option. If you do bad, yeah, we'll welcome you back. If you do good, you can opt out. Because that's how some of these Preller contracts were structured with some of these pitchers. So we'll see. What does this mean for the Padres? Lugo to the Royals. I mean, I'm glad he's not going to the Giants or a team, in the division. Like, that's good. But it's another guy that I think could have helped this Padres team in 24. It's another guy that's off the market. Now the Padres have to find a way to build this rotation and the rest of the lineup and the depth with the money that they have. And, Lugo getting 15 a year, like, congratulations to him. But maybe this was the deal that made Lugo go to the Padres, but looking back on it, it wasn't like the smartest deal, because if he performed well, you're giving him an out, and then you're not going to be able to pay him anyway. And Preller's done that multiple times here with these contracts.